ततो जयं दीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु पदेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके Bhaktir Naisiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 13, text number 46 to 48. Maitreya Vacha Itihi Upastyamanaha Aso Iti Upastyamano Aso Munibihi Brahmavadibihi Munvir Brahmavadibihi Shalile Swakura Akrante Salile Swakura Akrante Upadatta Avita Avanim Upadatta Avita Avanim Maitreya Vacha Iti Upastyamano Aso Munibir Brahmavadibihi Salile Swakurakranta Upadatta Avitavanim. Maitreya Vacha. The sage Maitreya said, Iti, thus, Upastyamanaha, being placed by, Aso, Lord Bhor, Munibihi, by the great sages, Brahmavadibihi, by the transcendentalists, Salile, on the water, Swakura Akrante, touched by his own hooves, Upadatta, placed, Avita, the maintainer, Avanim, the earth. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. The sage Maitreya said, the Lord being thus worshipped by all the great sages and transcendentalists, touched the earth with his hooves and placed it on the water. Please repeat the translation. The sage Maitreya said, the Lord being thus worshipped by all the great sages and transcendentalists, touched the earth with his hooves and placed it on the water. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The earth was placed on the water by his inconceivable potency. The Lord is all powerful and therefore he can sustain the huge planets either on the water or in the air as he likes. The tiny human brain cannot conceive how these potencies of the Lord can act. Man can give some vague explanation of the laws by which such phenomena are made possible, but actually the tiny human brain is unable to conceive of the activities of the Lord, which are therefore called inconceivable. Yet, the frog philosophers still try to give some imaginary explanation. The next two verses I will recite myself. Saittam Bhagavan Urvim Visvakshena Prajapatihi Rasaya Lilayo Nitam Apsunyasyayo Harihi. In this manner, the personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the maintainer of all living entities, raised the earth from within the water, and having placed it afloat on the water, he returned to his own abode. The personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, descends by his will to the material planets in these innumerable incarnations for particular purposes, and again he goes back to his own abode. When he descends, he is called as an avatara, because avatara means one who descends. Neither the Lord himself nor his specific devotees who come to this earth are ordinary living entities like us. Yayemetam harimedaso harihe katam subhadram kataniyamayinaha shunvita bhaktya shavayeta vasatim Janardano asyasu hridi prasidati. If one hears and describes in devotional service attitude this auspicious narration of Lord Bhor, which is worthy of description, the Lord, who is with the heart of everyone, is very pleased. Purport. In his various incarnations, the Lord appears, acts, and leaves behind a narrative history which is superior quality of material. Every living entity is of superior quality, spirit, soul, and nothing material can be auspicious for him. Intelligent persons should therefore hear personally and cause others to hear the descriptive narrations of the Lord's activities, for that will destroy the pangs of material existence. Out of his causeless mercy only, the Lord comes to this earth and leaves behind his merciful activities so that the devotees may derive transcendental benefit. Doesn't see Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here Maitreya is concluding this chapter by narrating in essence what we should understand from this passage. He said, Maitreya Vacha, iti upastiya manoso. After being praised, Lord Bhor, after being praised, who had praised him? Munibir Brahmavadibihi. So great sages and great transcendentalists. They have praised the Lord. Swalile Sakura Akranta. Within the water, by his hooves, he touched by his own hooves. Upadatta Avita Amanim. He placed the earth on the water by his hooves. And the Lord, who is the maintainer of this earth, he had taken this responsibility of protecting the earth and by placing it in the water. And Lord, further what he had done, he says, Sayittam Bhagavan Urvim Visvakshena Prajapatihi. So Lord, in this manner, the earth, he had placed it on the respective position. And who is known as Visvakshenaha, one of the names of the Lord, or one more personality is Commander-in-Chief of the Lord is also called as Visvakshenaha. And he is Prajapatihi, and he is the Lord of all living entities. Because earth is the storehouse where all living entities have to take shelter. The Lord, being compassionate for all the living entities, he placed this earth in its respective position. Rasaya Lilayo Unnittam. As a pastime, he picked up the earth from the bottom of the ocean. Rasaya, from the bottom of the ocean. Lilaya, as a playing pastime. Apsunyasya Yayo Harihi. After placing it in the water, Nyasya Yayo Harihi, the Lord went back to his abode. The Lord had appeared, performed his pastime. He had seen that everything is done, set right. The Lord went back to his abode. So there Prabhupada was saying in these two purports, first, the earth was placed on the water by the inconceivable potency of the Lord. So how can the earth float on the water or float in the air? All planetary systems are floating in the air. How it is possible? Like if you have to launch one satellite from this earth to the higher spheres, there is a huge team to manage one satellite. But there are innumerable planets which are there naturally, which are floating, and without any variation in their directions. Material satellites always, they keep moving here and there, so they have to be brought back onto the track. But here all these planets were moving exactly in their respective position. Like Prabhupada says, sun, if it moves 1 inch closer towards the other planets, they can become either burnt up fully, or 1 inch away, they can become frozen.
but sun is moving in its exact direction. How it is possible? That is the inconceivable potency of the Lord. The tiny human brain cannot conceive how these potencies of the Lord can act, because we are limited and the Lord is unlimited. How we can estimate about the unlimited with our limited capacity? Man only can give some vague explanation of the laws by which such phenomena are made possible. But actually the tiny human brain is unable to conceive of activities of the Lord. Therefore they are called as inconceivable. Achintya. Chintya means which you can contemplate, which you can explain. Achintya means which are beyond explanation. And next, the Lord descends by His will to the material planets in His innumerable incarnations for particular purposes, and again He goes back to His own abode. So why does He come? Various reasons and various explanations. He says, Sambhavami Atma Maya in the 4th chapter. I come by out of my own will. Whenever every yuga, there is my presence in this material world. But for a specific purpose I come. To protect the devotees, to destroy the demons, to re-establish the principles of religion. It could be any of these perspectives. The Lord comes, He does all the activities. Then once the pastime is done, the Lord goes back. So we should not consider the Lord or His pure devotees who come for a specific person to be one among us. Like in 15th chapter also Krishna says there are 2 categories of living entities. Kshara, Akshara. Means those who are in the material world prone to be fallen, and those who are eternal associates who never fall down. So the eternal associates of the Lord, they come to this material world. We should not consider them like they have also fallen from the spiritual world. They are not fallen. But they have come to reclaim the fallen souls. Whenever Lord doesn't come, He sends His pure devotees, so that they do the work of the Lord. They execute the mission of the Lord. That's why they are very dear to the Lord. Then finally Krishna says, Maitreya says, what is the importance of hearing about these pastimes of the Lord? He says, Ya evam etam harimedaso harihi. So one who understands about the Lord Hari, who is known as Harimedasaha, who destroys the material existence of the devotee. Katam Subhadram Kataniya Mayinaha. And this Katam, this narration about the Lord is very auspicious. Katam Subhadram. And Kataniya Mayinaha. And it is worthy to narrate. When something is auspicious, it is worthy to be narrated. And of the merciful of the, it is of the, how it is by the internal potency of the Lord. Mayinaha. The Lord's pastimes are in the internal potency, not happening in the external potency. So, Shrunvita Bhaktya Shravayeta Vasatim. So, Shrunvita Bhaktya, one who hears with faith and devotion, Shrunvita, Shravayeta Vasatim, and one who causes others to hear. You describe and make people to hear, or you hear with love and devotion. If you hear with attention, Janardana Asyasu Hrudi Prashidati. The Lord who is there as Janardana within the heart of all living entities, He becomes very pleased. So when you hear about Bhagavatam, the Lord becomes pleased. So in that purport, Prabhupada says, the Lord appears, acts and leaves behind Him a narrative history which is as transcendental as Himself. Because anything connected with the Lord is absolute. So either His name, form, pastimes, everything is of absolute in nature. And why does Lord come to this material world? The only reason it is said is out of His causeless mercy. There is no specific reason. Because if Lord wants to protect His devotees, He can send somebody else. Just by His manipulative of material energy, the demons can be killed, devotees can be protected. He can inspire one king to establish rules of religion. But why does Lord come? Only by His causeless mercy. So intelligent person should therefore personally hear and cause others to hear the descriptive narrations of the Lord's activities, for it will destroy the pangs of material existence. That's why He is known as Harimedasaha. He destroys the material existence of His devotees. So when we hear or when we cause others to hear, we are destroying their material tendencies and we are making them liberated in this world. So I had put this question to ChatGPT. What is the importance of Or what was Srila Prabhupada's emphasis on? Reading Bhagavatam or hearing Bhagavatam? So answer what I got was, according to Prabhupada, reading Bhagavatam helps one to develop a deep understanding of spiritual knowledge and to cultivate devotional attitude towards Lord. So it has done nice research. Even we will not be able to do so much research. In a 1 second, it has compiled some 2-3 paras with specific points. So first point it is saying was, understanding of spiritual knowledge and to cultivate devotional attitude. First one. Next. He believes that Srimad Bhagavatam contains the essence of all Vedic knowledge and is an essential text for anyone speaking spiritual enlightenment. This is Saram Samudritam. The first canto, 3rd chapter, 40th verse to 44th verse. That 5 verses glorify the importance of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Then next. He also believed that reading Srimad Bhagavatam can help one to overcome all materialistic tendencies of mind and develop a deep appreciation for the spiritual nature of the soul. So, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, what is happening? Hridayantasto hi abhadrani, all the unwanted things are getting cleaned up and love of God is awakened. So, the same point is enumerated here. He believed that stories and teachings contained in the text can inspire one to lead a more meaningful and purposeful life, focused on spiritual growth and service to the Lord. So by reading Bhagavatam, we develop the tendency of engaging in devotional service. We develop the tendency of love of Godhead. In summary, Prabhupada considered reading of Bhagavatam to be an essential practice. Essential means there is no option, you have to do. Like essential practice for anyone seeking spiritual knowledge and enlightenment, and it can help one overcome materialistic tendencies and cultivate a deep devotion. So now, what is Bhagavatam itself saying when you hear Bhagavatam? At the end, when Bhagavatam is concluded by Suta Goswami, he says, Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam. Srimad Bhagavatam is Puranam, the most auspicious narration, and Amalam, it is very pure. Yet Vaishnavanam Priyam, and it is very dear to all the Vaishnavas. Yasmin Paramahamsyam Ekam Amalam Jnanam Param Giyate. Because it describes Ekam Amalam Jnanam Param Giriyate. It is pure and supreme knowledge. For the Yasmin Paramahamsyam, it is specifically for the Paramahamsas. This Srimad Bhagavatam is to be released by Paramahamsas. And Tatra Jnana Vairaga Bhakti Sahitam Naishkarmyam Avishkrutam. So this Bhagavatam reveals Tatra Avishkrutam of Naishkarmyam, how to become free from this material world. If you read Bhagavatam, we become free from these materialistic tendencies, Naishkarmyam. Then, Jnana Vairagya Bhakti Sahitam, it contains the process of transcendental knowledge, renunciation and devotion. Then, Tad Shunvan Supatan Vicharana Paraho Bhaktya Vimuchya Naraha. Tad Shunvan, who hears this Bhagavatam, Supatan, one who reads this Bhagavatam, Vicharana Paraha, one who tries to seriously understand. Vicharana. Like in a judge, what does he do? In a court? He does Vicharana. So Vicharana means he scrutinizingly studies the case and he tries to come to the conclusion. So similarly, Bhagavatam also has to be Vicharana. Scrutinizingly it has to be studied. And Tat Shunvan Supatan Bhaktya, with devotion, one who chants and one who hears the Srimad Bhagavatam, Vimuchya Naraha, he becomes completely liberated. So the purpose of hearing Bhagavatam or reading Bhagavatam is a person becomes liberated. But it has to be heard and it has to be read in devotion. So this is called as Falashruti. This style of describing verses is called as Falashruti. You do this, you will get this benefit. And Bhagavatam is one which doesn't give any material benefits. Bhagavatam is considered as, what do you say, what is that specific word? No, which says you cannot expect anything in return. This is like a pure devotion without any expectation. Jnana karmadi anavrittam. Haituki apratihata. No expectation and continuation in the service. Then how Bhagavatam is assuring here, you do this, you will get so and so. But it is only saying you will get only spiritual benefits, you will not get any material benefit. It is not offering any material lucratives. What is it saying? If you read Bhagavatam, you will get liberated. It is not promising you will enjoy material world, you will get more opulences, you will stay very young, active, all these things. It doesn't promote. It only gives one opportunity to become more and more devoted to the Lord. So next, in various places these Falashrutis have been explained. Similarly, in the 4th canto, one more place, the Falashruti was explained after Prithu Maharaj. After finishing his narration, it says, Ya idam sumuhat punyam shraddhayan vitaha patet shravaye shuniyadvapi sapruto padavim iyat. Jai Shri Radha Govindaki. So, one who hears Ya idam sumuhat punyam, most auspicious narration, shraddhaya avahitaha, with faith and determination, patet shuniyet va api, one who studies or one who hears about these pastimes about King Prithu, or shravayet, one who causes others to hear. You narrate and others will hear. Then sa Pritho padavim iyat, he goes to the specific planet where where Prithu Maharaj resides in the spiritual world. So by following in the footsteps of Prithu Maharaj, we will be specifically transferred to the planet where Prithu Maharaj is there in the Vaikuntha. Like if you follow so and so, you worship the demigods, you go to the planet of the demigods. So if you follow here as an example of Prithu Maharaj, we will all be going to the planet of Prithu Maharaj. Similar style. Then in the 6th canto, after he explaining about Ajamila's story, so what Bhagavatam says, Shukadeva Goswami, what does he say? Ya etam paramam guhyam. This narration about this Ajamila is paramam guhyam, most confidential. Itihasam aga apaham, and this is the history of itihasam. Aga apaham, it will cleanse all sinful reaction. It has power to destroy or vanquish all sinful tendencies. Shuniyat shraddhaya yukto, one who faithfully shuniyat hears this. Yascha bhaktya anukirtayet, and with devotion, one who recites these pastimes, anukirtayet. Navai na narakam yati, he does not go to naraka. Na ikshato yama kinkaraha, he does not even see the servants of Yama even in his dreams. Yadyapi amangalo martyo Vishnu loke mahiyati. So he does not even approach him to see him, and after giving up this body, Vishnu loke mahiyate, he goes back and where he is respectfully received and worshipped in the Vaikuntha loka. So there is nothing inauspicious for the devotee. Amangala is not there. When you hear about this pastime of Ajamila, how he became liberated, even devotees, when they hear and when they cause others to hear with devotion, they will be taken to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha. So similarly, one more place in the 8th canto. So, etan muhuhu kirtanayo anushunvato na rishyate jatu samudyamah kvachit yad uttama shloka gunanuvarnanam samasta samsara parishramapaham. He says, muhuhu anushunvataha, one who constantly hears, muhuhu, constantly, or kirtayacha etad, or one who describes this narration of na rishyate jatu samudyamaha kvachid, of this churning of the ocean of milk, this specific pastime, one who hears, one who describes his pastime. Actually, this is yad uttama shloka gunanu varnanam. This is actually a pastime of chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord. Is samasta samsara parishramapaham, is the only means to annihilate all sufferings in this material world. So what is so special about this churning of the ocean? How many incarnations appeared for this specific purpose? At least 4 incarnations appeared in the same pastime. One was that Kurma, one was that Lord Achita who carried the mountain, Then Lord has Sahasra Bahu, who was sitting on the top of the mountain so that the mountain doesn't shake. So how many incarnations appeared till now? 3. Then who came out to bring the nectar? Hey, Dhanvantri, 4th incarnation. Who came to protect this nectar? So 5 incarnations came for that one pastime. So why it is so glorious? 5 personalities came to perform one pastime. That's why it is most auspicious. Then in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, one place, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains about hearing about Krishna's pastimes, specifically about Rasa Leela. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains how it should be heard and what happens when we hear about Krishna's pastimes in pure. Vrajavadu Sange Krishnera Rasadi Vilasa. So Lord Krishna's Rasa Leela pastimes in the association of gopis. Ei jana kahe sune kariya vishwasa. Those who kahe, those who explain. Suniye, those who hear. With faith, vishwasa. Hrudroga kama, the disease of the heart, the lusty disease of the heart. Tanra tatkale hoyakshaya, the lusty tendencies in the heart are automatically cleansed off. It becomes purified. The heart becomes purified of lusty material tendencies. Teen guna kshobe nahe mahadira hoya. The 3 material modes, teen guna, kshoba nahe, it will not have any impact on the person. He becomes elevated from these 3 modes of material nature. Then mahadira hoya, he becomes very sober and very silent. Mahadira. So quoting that verse from Bhagavatam, Vikriditam vrajavadabir idam cha Vishnu shraddhanvito anushunayed ata varnayed yaha bhaktim param bhagavati pratilabhya kamam hrudroga masu apihinoti achirena dhiraha. The same thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained in his own words. That original sloka he says, Vikriditam vrajavadabir idam cha Vishnu. The pastime between Lord Vishnu and the Vrajavadabir, the gopis, the Krishna and his gopis, Vikriditam, the playful pastimes. Shraddhayan vitaha, with faith. Anushrunayed, one who hears his. Ata varnayed yaha, one who describes his pastimes. Bhaktim param bhagavati, one develops unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Pratilabhya kamam, he becomes free from all materialistic desires. Hrudroga mashu, the disease of this heart, asu, very soon. Apihinoti, he becomes cleansed of this kaman from his hrudrogaha. Achirena dhiraha, and this how long does it take? Achirenaha, very fast it will take. And he becomes dhiraha, he becomes very sober personality. And further it says, Ye sune, ye pade, tandrafala etadrushi. So one who hears, ye sune, ye pade, one who recites, tandrafala, the result of the doing, etadrushi, say bhava vishta ye, seve aharnishe. He becomes absorbed in the thought, bhava vishtaha, and engages in the service of the Lord, aharnishaha, day and night. Then, tandrafala ki kahinu, kahane na yaya, nitya siddha se, praya siddha tandrapaya. Such a person is an eternally liberated associate of the Lord, nitya siddha hoy, and his body is completely spiritualized. Although he is visible to materialize, he is spiritually situated and all his activities are spiritual in nature. And by the will of Krishna, such a devotee is understood to possess a spiritual body, Jivan Muktaha. So when you come to that pure stage, so our body becomes purified of all material contamination and we become a liberated personality. So similarly, the importance of reading Srimad Bhagavatam was emphasized between a talk between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So we know this pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So little elaboration more is explained in Chaitanya Bhagavata. So what actually transpired there? So Amrutera Amruta Shri Gaurangera Katha. So this is the essence of all nectar, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Brahma Shiva ye Amruta Vanchera Sarvata. And Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva always want to aspire for this nectar. He namate Shri Gaurasundara Neelachale Atma Sangopanakari Ache Kutuhale. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disguised himself as a devotee and he came to the place of Neelachala. He does not display himself as Krishna. he came as a devotee. Even that devotee also, he will not reveal himself. यदि तेन्हो व्यक्त ना करे न अपनारे तबे कार शक्ति की आचे तांद्र जानी बारे. Unless Lord reveals, who can understand the mood of the Lord? Nobody can guess about the Lord. दैवे एक दिना सार्वभौमेर सहिते वासिलेन प्रभु ताने लॉय निवृते. So in a secluded place, by the will of providence, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Prabhu kahe, suna Sarvabhauma Mahashaya. Oh my dear Sarvabhauma, please hear. Tomara kahi ye ami apana hrudaya. I am going to reveal my heart unto you. Jagannatha dekite ye ailama ami. Although I came to Jagannatha, I came to Puri to have darshan of Lord Jagannatha. Uddesha amara mula eta acha tumi. My main purpose is to meet you. Jagannatha amara ki kahibe na kata. Tumi se amara bandhu chindibe sarvata. Will Lord Jagannatha speak to me? It is you who will completely destroy my material bondage. Tomate sei vaise Shri Krishnera Purna Shakti, tumi se dhibare para Krishna Prema Bhakti. You are fully empowered by Lord Krishna, and so you will be able to award one loving devotion service. Ete ke tumara ami lainu ashraya, taha kara yei rupe amara bala hoya. So I am taking your complete shelter. Now you can decide what is beneficial for me. Ki viddi kariba muni, takiba ki rupe, ye mate na padon, muni ye samsara kupe. So what rules and regulations I should follow? How I should live? Please instruct me so that I do not fall into the well of material life. Sabha upadesha more kaha amayaya, ami se tomara hai jana sarvataya. Please instruct me without any reservation that I am a soul surrendered unto you. Please understand this. I have taken your shelter. Na janiya sarvabhama ishwarera marma. He could not understand the intention of the Lord. Kahite lagila ye jivera yata dharma. He started explaining all the duties of jiva. Sarvabhama bholena kahila yata tumi sakala tomara bala vasilama ami. He said, I appreciate everything what you have said. Ye tomara hayachana bhaktira udaya atyanta apurva se kahile kabunaya. The devotion what has awakened in you is certainly most wonderful and beyond description. Krishna kripa hoyache tomara opare sabe ek kariyache nahe vyavahare. Already you have attained Krishna's mercy, but you have done one thing that is improper. Parama subuddhi tumi hoya apane tabe tumi sannyasa karila ki karane. Although you are the most intelligent, why did you accept sannyasa? Bhujya deki vichariya ki ache sannyase pratame baddha hoya ahankara pashe. He says, just consider what is the use of accepting sannyasa. One immediately becomes bound by the ropes of false ego. Siksha sutra guchiyaya sabe yei labha namaskara kare asi maha bhaga. The only gain in giving up your material duties and accepting sannyasa is that respectable people offer their obeisances unto you. As soon as you are sannyasi, we offer respects to the sannyasi. Pratame suniya eka apacheya eba arasuna sarva nasha buddhikshaya. So this is the first loss in accepting sannyasa, that we become egoistic. Means we see that everybody have to offer respects to me, everywhere I have to be identified. Like that a person comes to the platform of ego. Now here the other laws by which one's intelligence becomes polluted. What happens? Jivera swabhava dharma ishvara bhajana taha chadi apanara bole narayana. The living entity's basic essential duty is to engage in the service of Lord Narayana. Jivera swarupa hai Krishnera nitya dasa. But as soon as they accept sannyasa, they say, I have become Narayana. You are leaving your duty and you are saying, I have become Narayana. I did not worship Narayana. Vishnu kriya na karile paranna kaile kichu nahe sakshate yei veda bhale. The Vedas clearly say if one does not worship Vishnu and depends upon others for his food, he cannot make any advancement. So sannyasi means he cannot cook for himself. You have to take bhiksha from others. And you don't worship Vishnu because whatever food comes, you try to honor. In the Narayana stage, you are thinking you are Narayana. And food is offered to you directly. So in that way, you cannot advance in spiritual life. Tahare se bole dharma karma sadachara, Ishware se priti janme sammata sabara. So real religious principles and proper codes of conduct are those by which one develops love of Godhead. Tahara se bole vidya mantra adhyayana, Krishna pada padme ye karaye stira mana. So real education, chanting of mantras and study of scriptures are those by which one can fix his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. Sabara jivana Krishna janaka sabara, hena Krishna yena bhaje sarva vyartha tara. So Lord is the life and father of everyone. So if you do not worship the Lord, our life becomes useless. Sannyasi hoiya niravadi narayana, bali beka prema bhakti yoge anukshana. A sannyasi should chant constantly the name of Narayana with love and devotion. Atayeva tomara se kahi ye ami, hena pate pravista haila kena tumi. Therefore I ask you, why have you taken such a path? Yadi Krishna bhakti yoge kariba uddhara, tabe shiksha sutra tyage kon labhastara. If you wish to deliver the whole world by distributing love of Godhead, then what is the need for you to give up your shika and brahmana thread? Paramarte sannyasa ki kariba tomara, yei bhakti hoyache tomare sharira. What is the purpose of accepting sannyasa when you have already developed such devotional sentiments? Yogindradi sevara yei durlabha prasada, tabe hekkene kariyache yei mata pramada. The devotional service which is rarely obtained by the best of the yogis. So this you have already attained. Why have you made a mistake of accepting this sannyasa? Suni bhakti yoga sarvabhaumaira vachane, bada sukhi hoila Gaurachandra Narayana. So Lord became very happy when he heard about glorification of bhakti yoga. Prabhu bole, suna sarvabhauma mahashaya, sannyasi amara nahi janiha nishchaya. So do not consider me a sannyasi, my dear sarvabhauma. Krishnera virahe muni vikipshatta hoya, bahire hoilan shuki shika shutra mudaya. I left home and shaved my head because I was disturbed by feelings of separation from the Lord. Sannyasi kariya jnana chada mora prati, krupa kari yena mora, Krishna hoya mati. You forget that I am a sannyasi, you teach me how I will be able to fix my mind upon lotus feet of the Lord. Hase Prabhu sarvabhome chahiya chahiyana, bujhena sarvabhoma maya mugdha hoya. The Lord smiled and looked at Sarvabhauma, but Sarvabhauma could not understand the intention of the Lord because he was bewildered by the Lord's potency. Sarvabhauma bolena, ashrama bada tumi, shastra mate tumi vadanya upasaka ami. You are a sannyasi, I am a grahastha. A grahastha has to hear from sannyasi. And if I don't follow the principle, I will become an offender from the system. Tumiye amara stava kari yukti naya, tahate amara pache aparada hoya. If you offer me prayers and if you glorify me, it becomes an offense from my part. I am a grahastha and you are a sannyasi. I am supposed to hear from you, you are supposed to explain to me. Prabhu bole, chada mora ye sakala, maya sarva bhave tomara lainu mui chaya. So give up all this deception, I have taken your shelter, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Prabhu bole, mora eka ache manorata, tomara mukete sunibhana bhagavata. So I have one desire, I want to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from you. Yateka samshaya chitta achaya amara, toma bai guchaite hena nahiyara. Only you will be able to remove whatever doubts I have. Sarvamole, tumi sakala vidyaya, parama pravina, ami jani sarvataya. I know that you are very expert in all the Vedic literatures. Kon bhagavata artha na jana va tumi, tomara va kon rupe prabodhita ami. He said, which meaning of Bhagavatam you don't know? How then can I teach you? Tatapiha anyonye bhaktira vichara, karibeka sujanera swabhava vyavahara. It is the nature of pious persons to discuss devotional service among themselves. Baladeki sandeha tomara kon stane, acheta yata shakti kariba vakane. So which particular verse do you have some doubt about? I will try to explain to the best of my capacity. Tabe Shri Vaikuntanada Ishat Hasiya Bolilena Eka Shloka Asta Asta Akariya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained one verse, smiling. Then he said, which is that verse? Atma Ramascha Muniyo, 1.7.10. So which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this verse I want to understand more clearly. Then Sarvabhauma bole, Shlokartha ei satya, Krishna pada bhakti say sabara mula tattva. So the true meaning of this verse is, devotion service to the lotus feet of the Lord is the original truth. Sarvakala paripurna hoya ye jana, antare bahire yara nahika bandhana, evam vida mukta sabe kare bhakti, Krishna bhakti, hena Krishna gunera swabhava mahashakti. So, Sarvakale paripurna haya ye jana. In all times and all circumstances, inside and outside, a person, he becomes liberated from all this material bondage by rendering devotional service, and such is the powerful influence of Krishna's qualities. Hena Krishna guna nama mukta sabe ghaya, itte anadara yara say nasha hoya. So, the liberated souls sing the glories of Lord Krishna, while those who disrespect are vanquished. Yei mata nana mata paksha tolaya vyakya kare sarvabhauma avishto hoya. So in this way he explained various explanations for this verse. Trayodasa prakara shlokartha vyakhaniya. In 13 different ways he explained this verse to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hailena ara shakti nahika boliya. He said, this is what I can understand. Only 13 different ways this perception I could explain. Ishat hasiya gaurachandra prabho kaya yata vakhanila tumi sabha satya hoya. So whatever he has said, it is correct. Ebe suna ami kichu kariya vyakyana bhujhadeki vichariya hoya ki pramana. So now hear my explanation and decide whether it is authorized or not. Takane vismita sarvama mahashaya ara artha narera sakite kabunaya. He could understand that no human can explain beyond these 13 explanations. It should be somebody superhuman. Apanara artha prabhu apane vakane yaha kehal kona kalpe uddesha na jane. The Lord explained with which no one could actually conceive the different meanings of that verse. Vyakya suni sarvabhauma parama vishmita. He became most astonished. Mane bhave ye khiba ishvara vidita. He could understand. He is the Supreme Lord himself. Shloka vyakta kare prabhu kariya hunkara atma bhave haila lasat bhuja avatara. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after explaining this verse, he became Shadbhuja Avatara. He displayed that 6-armed form to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Prabhu bole, Sarvabhauma ki tora vichara, sannyasa amara nahi hoya adakara. Oh Sarvabhauma, what do you think? Am I not qualified to take sannyasa? Sannyasi ki ami hena tora chitte loya, tara lagi eta ami hailu nudaya. It is for your sake I have come here. I have spent many lifetimes trying to attain my love for me. Bahu janma mora preme tyajila jivana ateva tora ami dilun darshana. So because I have come to give darshana, because for many lifetimes you have been praying for me. Sankirtana anambe mohara avatara ananta brahmanda muni vahi nahi ara janma janma tumi mora shuddha prema dasa ateva tora muni hailun prakasha. That's why I have displayed to you, because you have been my devotee for lifetimes. And I have come here to start the inauguration of Sankirtana movement, congregational chanting. Apurva Shadbhuja Murti Koti Surya Maya Deki Murcha Gela Sarvabhauma Mahashaya. So by seeing that Shadbhuja form, it was like Koti Surya, that 1 crore suns at one place. He became unconscious. Vishala Karena Prabhu Hunkara Garjana Ananda Shadbhuja Gaurachandra Narayana. The Lord loudly roared. Bada Sukhi Prabhu Sarvabhauma Antare Utha Boli Shri Haste Dilena Tandra Shire. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very satisfied and he touched his head. He said, wake up Sarvabhauma. Karuna Samudra Prabhu Shri Gaura Sundara Pada Padma Dila Tandre Hrudaya Upara. So being compassionate, Lord, he placed his lotus feet on the chest of Sarvabhauma. Pai Shri Charana Sarvabhauma Mahashaya Haila Kevala Parananda Premamaya. Because the Lord touched him, he became ecstatic. Love of Godhead awakened within him. Dudakadi Pada Padmadari Premanande Aji se Painu Chitta Chora Bali Kande. So you are the thief who have been staying away from me. Today I caught hold of your feet. Sarvabhauma said. Tomara se muni Papa Kshaimu Dharma Na Janiya Tomara Achintya Shuddha Marma. I am so sinful that I dare to teach you religious principles. I did not understand your pure, inconceivable glories. Henaka vache Prabhu tomara mayaya Maha Yogeshwara adi mohanahi paya. ये से तुम्हें ये हमारे मोही बे कौन शक्ति ये बा देहा तोमारा चरणे प्रेम भक्ति. O Lord, who does not become bewildered by your illusion energy, which bewilders even the best of the yogis? So it is not astonishing that you have bewildered me. Now please bestow me loving devotional service at your lotus feet. Kala vase bhakti lukhaye dine dine punar bhar nija bhakti prakasha karane Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nama Prabhu Avatara Tandra Pada Padme Chitta Rahuta Amara. This is one of that 100 verses which Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya glorified Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kala Vase Bhakti Lukaya Dine Dine. By the influence of Kala, every day this bhakti was lost. Punah Bharanija Bhakti Prakasha Karane. To re-establish the principle of devotional service, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nama Prabhu Avatara, Lord appeared in the form of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tandra Pada Padme Chitta Rahu Ka Amara. My mind be always at the lotus feet of that Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vairagya Sahita Nija Bhakti Bujhaite Yei Prabhu Krupaya Avatirna Prithvite. So you have revealed in this world your own devotional service along with renunciation. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Tanu Purusha Purana Tribhuvane Nahi Yara Adhika Samana. In these three words, nobody is better than you. Hena Krupa Sindura Charana Guna Nama Spuruk Amara Hrudayete Avirama. Let that qualities, names and forms and the lotus feet of such an ocean of mercy constantly manifest within my heart. Ei Mata Sarvabhauma Shatashloka Kari Suti Kare Chaitanyera Pada Padmadari. By holding to the lotus feet of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, by holding to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he glorified him with 100 verses. So here, just by one verse, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could explain in 60 plus varieties, then understand 18,000 verses are there. How many varieties for each verse we can understand? So this is like a lifetime project for us to understand Bhagavatam in all angles of vision and get deeper perspectives of Bhagavatam and develop the devotional attitude towards the Lord and become purified and go back home, back to Godhead by blessings of Bhagavatam and all the acharyas. I'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand.
Hare Krishna Golden Temple vari maro apurupa kanuka Hare Krishna Vani Adhyatmika Masapatrika. Ippudu mobile app ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి